Hey you guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting, coming to you today with the next session in the Alpha Wolf Personal Development and Expansion series. So this session is going to be sort of a bit of a recap of sort of what we've gone over the past week, and then also an understanding of how I layer multiple different beliefs and practices within my life. So, what we're looking at today is we're looking at understanding how we use our understandings of spiritual enlightenment. That spiritual enlightenment is I am connected to all, and all are connected to me. And this idea that I do not like through that connection of being connected to all, I am connected to all through my connection to self. So the more I understand and the more I sort of build or construct this self that I want to move through the world, the easier it becomes for me to move through the world. Like, do you sort of get it? The more I work on and develop myself, the better my outcomes become. So it's this understanding that through my control over who I am and sort of what I have power to change within my life, be it my beliefs, be it my words, my thoughts, my subconscious thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, all of this. So I have control over every aspect of who I am in any moment, and that is my connection to all in any moment. Do you sort of get it? So it's through understanding this that I'm able to connect in with life, with the flow of life, with what is around me. And we are bringing over this understanding that what I truly desire in life is what I truly want in life. It's what gives my life meaning. So it is not a sort of universal meaning, it is an individual meaning. So we understand how my meaning within myself is created by what I enjoy and like and want in life, in love, in everything. So we understand that when we are multi-layering these different practices in with one another, it's it's nothing special. It's just being aware and observant of the different aspects of life, of my experience of life, of what I want in life. Do you sort of get it? So we're not trying to crack a code here, so to speak. We're trying to be mindful that I don't control anything that is external to me, yet I am connected to everything that is external to me. Do you sort of get it? So should you walk up and slap me in the face, like you aren't slapping me in the face, I'm slapping me in the face. Do you sort of get it? Like when we start to understand this and we bring this in, now I have one sort of piece of the pie, and all of the pies are going to make the picture or whatever, however that analogy goes. But basically, then we are layering on top of that this understanding of the energy and the flow of life, that life has a flow, that it has natural energy. And should I ride that wave, ride that flow, life becomes effortless and easy and downhill. Should I try and go against that flow, life becomes difficult. Do you sort of get it? And that flow is directly related to what I enjoy in life. Do you sort of get it? Like there's not one flow of life. There are every conceivable infinite possibility of flow of life. And whichever one I align to within myself, within my frequency of my thoughts and my beliefs, and my emotions and my energy or energetic state. Do you sort of get it? So when I'm aligned to the energy, I feel in flow with life. Have you ever noticed how when I move towards what I want in life, I feel in flow with life? Not when I'm sitting there trying to get a degree that I don't want. Do you sort of get it? Like we understand that the flow or the energy of life is just moving towards what we want. My momentum picks up naturally. I find it easier to run towards what I want than to not run towards what I want. Like, I find it easier to run towards what I want than to run towards what I don't want. I find it harder to force myself to move towards what I don't want. Do you sort of get it? So when we understand this and we layer it on that I only have control over myself. So should I want to connect with the flow of life, it is through my decisions and behaviors, my actions. Do you know what I mean? My beliefs held. Should I believe that moving towards what I want in life is the energetic frequency of my life, i.e., that's the flow state I'm trying to align to? Well, then if I'm creating resistance, telling myself how what I want in life has to wait, I am the one that is creating the disruption or the lack of resonance, like resonant frequency or whatever it's called. Do you sort of get it? Like I'm the one that's creating the tonal shift that takes me out of being in resonance with what I want in life. Do you sort of get it? So we understand, like I'm connected to everything that I want. Everything that I want is connected to me. It is within me. Do you sort of get it? Like, so then we layer on our understandings around like meaning, like what means something to me in life. And our meaning is determined by what we value in life, what we think is important, what we think is valuable, what we enjoy in life. Do you sort of get it? My life becomes difficult and meaningless should I move towards what I don't want in life. Do you sort of get it? Should I move towards what I want in life, my life becomes meaningful. Do you sort of get it? It doesn't matter the direction. If I wanted to fucking be an elephant rider, like if I do that, it gives my life meaning. Do you sort of get it? Like there's no more to it than that. So we understand if I am trying to manifest my dream life, like I am the one that is connected to all. So, i.e., my dream life, I'm already connected to it. Do you sort of get it? It is me already without ever having to do anything. Do you sort of get it? I can connect across time and across space. Do you sort of get it? Like it's this understanding of belief. And if you can believe this, you'll get it. That whatever I want in life is already within my hand. Should I realize I hold it within my hand, I obtain it instantly without effort. Should I believe that I have to create an external validation of my dream before I can embody it and live my dream, then the key is in my hand, but I'm only ever going to open my hand once I get that validation. Do you sort of get it? Do you see? Once I believe that as soon as I have something or as soon as I want something, I have it, I cease having to look for it. Do you sort of get it? I cease having to do anything. But should I really want to have what I hold in my hand, I have to create it through expression into life, into the physical. Do you sort of get it? Should I want to feel love in life, I have to express love in life. Do you sort of get it? it's not coming unless I express love. Do you sort of get it? It's irrelevant if it comes or not, because should I express love, now I am living in love. So the relevancy of the external validation is ceased in the action of embodying. Do you sort of get it? Should I want to feel successful moving towards my goals, in the moment of moving towards my goals, I feel successful, irrespective of if I ever reach the goal or not, because the goal ceases to be the primary indicator as soon as we recognize and allow ourselves to believe that movement towards what I've already attained is within me. Do you sort of get it? That every time I move towards what I want, like that is a physical expression of what is already within me. So we understand this in creation and creativeness. Take, for example, art. I can sit there and try and draw a picture and try and create it on the page, or I can conjure it from within me and then express that understanding, that expression, that artistic or creative flair, whatever you want to call it. Do you sort of get it? So I can try and create art, or I can embody it and express it. Do you sort of get it? I can try and create happiness, or I can embody it and express it within my life. Like, do you sort of get it? Like, both ways are right. One way, I only get to feel success when I attain the goal. I only get to feel happiness when I realize I'm happy. Do you sort of get it? So if I don't ever realize that I'm happy, I never get to feel happy again in life. Have you ever noticed that with grumpy old cunts? That they're so grumpy, but it's sort of like you're doing that to yourself. I've met so many people, and it's like, it's not that I don't care for people, but it's like if you're afraid to die and you're miserable about your death, I don't pity you. I don't give you sympathy. Like you're doing it to yourself. Do you sort of get it? Like you can torture yourself while you're on earth, believing that there's a heaven, or you can create heaven on earth and create heaven in the next life, in the next life. Do you sort of get it? Like you get to choose what life means. No one else does. You get to choose whatever. Like, do you sort of understand? I don't get to create and validate whatever I want, but I get to choose to believe whatever I want. I get to choose to embody whatever I want. Do you sort of get it? It's through the understanding of embodying that we become what we seek. And then we understand if we're trying to find joy, happiness, love, whatever, success, whatever in our life, it's in the realization that should I choose to feel it, I am free to feel it in all its extent. There is no rule to if I have to externally validate or if I have to internally validate. If I internally validate, that means I get to set the rules to my existence. I don't get to set the rules to life, but I get it to set the rules to how I experience and exist within life, i.e., I can see things as lose-lose situations, or I can see things as win-win situations. Do you sort of get it? Like, if I choose to see a situation that I'm in as being a no-win situation, like I'm free to do that, but I'm also free to see it as a situation where I win. It doesn't mean I win in the external environment, but it means the likelihood that I win, if I believe that there's a possibility of success, is significantly and drastically higher than should I believe that it is negative. So, i.e., in life, I will live the life I want to live as soon as I realize there is nothing to fear in death. Do you sort of get it? All illusions are broken when death is understood. Do you sort of get it? When I understand that me as this conscious being, this consciousness is separate from this physical body. Do you sort of get it? This physical body is a physical manifestation of the consciousness that is within me. Do you sort of get it? Like we understand this through like we reflect naturally in our characteristics, in our health, our mental state, our conscious state. Do you sort of get it? The healthier I feel internally within myself, within my consciousness, the more aligned I feel, the healthier I reflect to others. Do you sort of get it? It has a physical way of altering, for me, altering the conscious aspect of me or the conscious awareness of me. If I make positive changes in that, there are positive changes in the body. Just to the same, if I make positive changes within the body, there are typically positive changes within the mind. Do you sort of get it? They're linked, but they are not like one thing. Do you sort of get it? Like consciousness, so to speak, doesn't exist in the physical dimension or physical reality. Like you can't touch and feel consciousness, yet it's there. So it exists in a different state within the universe, like in an energetic state. So we understand that there is the physical manifestation of me and the energetic manifestation of me. In death, the physical is let go to because the physical is not needed, but the self identity of the ego exists within the physical. Do you sort of get it? Understanding and overcoming death is the acceptance that I don't need to go on in the next life. I live eternally. Do you sort of get it? Who I am today doesn't come with me. Do you sort of get it? It's irrelevant because in the energetic state, there is no separation between one energy and another energy. Do you sort of get it? If I have electricity, they don't go to different sides of the street. Do you know what I mean? And say, oh, I'm left side, I'm right side. Do you know what I mean? So we understand it as energy is just one form. Like, do you get it? Like energy isn't separate in any context unless it's put into a separate like vessel. Do you sort of get it? A battery. But when it is released from that vessel back into the universe, into life, it ceases to be individual and it becomes a part of the field. Do you sort of get it? That's consciousness is just energy. Do you sort of get it? So, like, overcoming death is a simple realization that even if my ego, my self identity, my identity of self doesn't get to go with me, like I can still enjoy it. Do you sort of get it? Because I'm not my ego. Do you sort of get it? My conscious awareness, my consciousness, my understanding of like everything goes with me, for it is already the culmination of the collective consciousness. But my self identity, who I identify myself with in the external environment, doesn't go with me. Do you sort of get it? Are you your career? Are you your actions? I like is that all you are? Things that you have done in the past. Do you sort of get it? Very important to get this. My self identity is the one that limits me into the physical. When I let go to that, I become a part of the collective because I become my full consciousness. Like, do you sort of get it? The higher consciousness, the one that directs my thoughts and emotions, not the one that responds to my thoughts and emotions. Do you sort of get it? So, who I am as a conscious being is already a part of the collective. There is no death for who I am. Do you sort of get it? But who I am in this lifetime is either a culmination of who I am or it is an illusion I have created about who I want you to think I am. Do you sort of get it? If I live authentically, I don't have to fear death because at the end of death, I am still me. Do you sort of get it? Because I'm not trying to live in the illusion of life and create my identity out of the illusion of life. My identity is life. Do you sort of get it? I am not separate from life. I am life, all of life. So when we understand this, now we can let go to the need for legacy, for people to remember me, for I am those people. Do you sort of get it? Like, if you can wrap your mind around this and get this, it's a very, very exciting time because then the self-realization happens that I am all. For all is a reflection of the collective consciousness, and I am a part of that. Do you sort of get it? Should someone slap me in the face, I am slapping me in the face because I am them. Like, do you get it? So when we understand this and we add this in with our practices, now we understand there is no positive or negative that can ever happen to us in life. If I choose life to be positive, everything is positive. Nothing becomes negative because there is no negative. Do you sort of get it? Because anything negative someone else does to me, I am doing to myself. Do you sort of get it? Like, so I can choose to alter my behavior or I can choose like whatever I want. But I realize, should I be going around living life in fear of being attacked? I am drawing people to attack me. I am attacking me. I am living in fear. Do you know what I mean? In life, look at nature, look at the universe. Like, if there's predators around, they're going to try and attack you. Like, you're either, predator or prey, so to speak. So, like, if you're going through life not expecting to be attacked, like, you're sort of asking yourself for people to attack you, but you don't have to live in the attack. You just have to accept it's part of life. I don't control that I only live in what I deem to be as positive. I accept that there is negative in this world, but it is not negative to me. It is positive to me. So I don't try and push away from it and say, I am not a violent person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am the reason I walk through life without fear of people attacking me. Do you sort of get it? Like, it's not because I don't want them to attack me. Like, I beg for it. Because in the moment that it happens, I'm allowed to let go. Do you sort of get it? Like, that's the thing. We can pretend like being weak and avoiding what we don't want in life is positive. But if I'm afraid of violence, all someone has to do is raise their voice and I'm in fear. If I'm willing to go to the depths of hell and sacrifice everything that is me, do you sort of get it? Nothing you can do will ever rattle me. Do you sort of get it? Like, I don't have to live in fear because I'm willing to go everywhere. There's nowhere that I don't want to be. Do you sort of get it? Should you take me to hell, you're only taking me to somewhere that I'm ready for, I'm used to. Like, I don't mind it down here. I enjoy the heat. Do you know what I mean? Like, I choose to enjoy whatever comes in life. Do you sort of get it? Like, there is no negative. Because for me to say there is a negative, there is an aspect of life that I don't want to experience. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, I'll give you an example. I don't really enjoy walking over a field of thorns. I don't. It does not feel fucking good, especially when you're barefoot. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I don't have to walk through that field of thorns every day. But should I never experience walking on thorns, I become hypersensitive to it. So it's sort of like we don't have to put ourselves in discomfort to where we're forcing ourselves to walk barefoot through a field of thorns. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not doing that, but we're saying, should I step on a thorn? It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I don't have to create fear or negativity just because I step on a thorn in life. Do you sort of get it? So we understand that, like, it's either all is sacred or none is sacred. We can't pick and choose because when we pick and choose, now I'm trying to separate and segregate life into what it should be, how it should be. I should not have to feel violence in life. Violence is a part of life. If you accept it's a part of life, you're not shocked when someone tries it. Do you know what I mean? If you go around creating an illusion that it's not a part of life, like I don't get it. Like you're not living in reality because all of reality is violence. Look at TV, look at radio, look at music, whatever. Look at the news. Like we are naturally attracted to violence. Do you sort of get it? Like, if you look at the world's history, there has not been a 10-year decade without war. We are perpetually in war in one place or another. Do you sort of get it? Yet a lot of us live in this illusion that the world is a peaceful place. Do you know what I mean? Like, crime is everywhere. There's nowhere that crime doesn't really exist. Well, there's one place where it doesn't exist very highly, and that's like the Saudis, the Arabs, because they have martial punishment where stealing is, getting your hand cut off, where, adultery and cheating and lying and murder and all of this is death sentence. Like it doesn't allow for repeat offending. Do you sort of get it? Like naturally, there is only a certain percentage of the population that tends to be criminals. Do you know what I mean? So it's sort of like understanding this is just understanding that, like, these are natural aspects of life. Just because I want to live a positive life doesn't mean I have to be devoid of life. Do you sort of get it? I don't get to feel positive within myself if I'm trying to suppress or repress aspects of myself. Like, do you understand? Liberation is only in like the full acclimatization or the full embrace of all aspects of life, of all aspects of you. Do you sort of get it? And then you just choose, what do I want to feel? Do I want to feel enjoyment and positivity in life? Or do I want to feel fear? Because trust me, if I choose fear, everything in life becomes fearful. Do you sort of get it? I can create illusions where I can pick things that don't scare me and things that do scare me. It's an illusion because I become so hypersensitive to everything that doesn't scare that scares me. So basically, I create a bubble around my life of this very small existence of life. But the thing is it's always crushing in. Do you know what I mean? So we realize that like it's going to spread fear. Like fear is something that spreads among yourself, among people. So we understand that we root out fear as being the possibility and we choose that enjoyment, that pleasure, that love, whatever it may be, whatever you want it to be, is that. And that's what becomes. Do you sort of get it? When I choose for love and peace, I don't forego love and peace just because I need to be violent. Do you sort of get it? Like I've chosen to feel love and peace in all times. Do you know what I mean? So if I have to put it out, like it's just like working out, it's just a physical exertion. Do you know what I mean? My mind is untainable, like taintable when I'm in that state because I'm not responding to it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not creating trauma out of situations. When I see things as being negative, I tend to create trauma within them more so than I do positive. So if I see someone punching me in the face as being positive, or if I see someone punching me in the face as being negative, at a higher rate, I am going to associate trauma to the event if I see it as being negative than if I were to see it as being positive. So statistically, if I'm going through events in life and I keep telling myself that these events are negative, statistically, I am going to create trauma within my life. Do you sort of get it? Like trauma is based out of fear. It's perceived fear. It's not real. Like I can go through things that create trauma within me, like physical experiences, but it's the perceived fear of that reoccurring or of that happening again or of it happening in the future or whatever. That's the trauma. It's not so much the physical aspect of, let's say, abuse that creates trauma. Like it's the recurring fear that molds and manifests to create weakness within us of a belief that, like, I am the victim in this situation. In this situation, I am always the one who is weaker. The fear has the strength. Do you sort of get it? So we understand, should I want to let go to a life of trauma and I want to let go to trauma in life, I stop seeing things as negative, even if they're the worst things in the world. Do you sort of get it? And should I be put into those situations again? Should I not want to have those results? I ensure that I'm the one that's going to come out on top. Do you sort of get it? I don't go into a situation without having some form of a weapon on me. Do you know what I mean? Or I'm willing to become the weapon and crush someone's face. Do you sort of get it? Like, do you know what I mean? Me personally, I'm not going through that again. So, like, should people want to attack me? They can attack me. Do you know what I mean? Should people want to do negative or really violent things? Like, it's okay. Do you know what I mean? I'm not choosing fear just because you want to try and create fear. I'm just going to take it to the next level of violence. Do you know what I mean? Like, you try to bash me, I'm going to try and eat your face because I know psychologically if I succeed, you're not going to be coming at me again. You're not going to want to come near me. Do you sort of get it? Like, it'll be a lifetime of scars. There'll be no, like, There'll be no like overcoming the trauma and the terror and the psychological damage. Like that'll fuck you for life. Do you know what I mean? So it's sort of like it's not positive or negative. Do you know what I mean? So we don't see it as it, but it's like, do I want to live in that? Do I want to live in a world that where that exists? Yes or no? If I choose no, then I just cease seeing that as a possibility. Do you sort of get it? Like there's nothing anyone can do to me to create fear because I'm choosing not to create fear. So I don't need to prepare for perceived fear. I can let go to perceived fear. Do you sort of get it? That's how we walk around not feeling the need to defend ourselves. We forego perceived fear or perceived negative outcome and we just accept everything is positive. Do you know what I mean? So I don't need to think about what I'm going to do until I have to do it. Do you sort of get it? I let go to the need to plan, strategize, prepare. Do you know what I mean? And I just trust in myself and have a willingness to not focus on it being a part of reality that I want to create. Do you sort of get it? If I'm walking down the street and it's 3 in the fucking morning and there's four dudes walking towards me, I'm going to put distance between me and them because I want you to make a very clear assertion to me that you're coming for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you sort of get it? Like, but the statistical likelihoods. So it's sort of like if I don't want to get attacked in life, I identify and study the statistics of fighting, the statistics of average fighting, the statistics of different demographics in fighting, the statistical likelihoods of how fights occur and how fights break out. I would understand the predator's mind. Do you sort of get it? Like, I'm not being a bitch and just pretending like that doesn't exist in life, but it's like I'm not going to fear it, but I'm going to understand it so that I can measure micro movements within body language to understand intention and to see any sort of hidden communication that people try to hide. You know how treat people will, if they're all in coordination and they're out preying on people, they will have to some basic level body language signals that they'll try and use instead of using language to communicate. Do you sort of get it? If I don't know what you're thinking, how can I prepare for what you're about to do? So when we're in groups of three or four, what we try and do is we try to limit vocal communication when we're in predatory mode, when we're trying to prey on someone, because it creates a level of psychological terror because now you're having to try and predict what four people are about to do. Do you sort of get it? So if we see people acting like that, we know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not avoiding the negative in life and saying fighting's bad. So I'm just gonna, there's no fighting in my life. It's sort of like if I understand how things work, it makes it far easier for me to avoid what I don't want in life. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that I focus on what I don't want in life, but I focus in on understanding life, the positive and the negative. Like for example, majority of the fights that people get into are based around ego. So if you know they're based around ego, why would you let yourself be offended? Do you sort of get it? Like most fights are based like out of not the want to cause grievous bodily harm, but the want to show dominance over another. Like, i.e., if in situations or environments you're in, there's a lot of guys trying to show dominance over one another. Like, if you don't want to be in fights and conflict and things like that, like I wouldn't be in that environment. Do you know what I mean? Like free will is how we live free. Do you sort of get it? I'm free to not put myself into environments and situations that I don't like in life. If I don't like conflict and violence, whenever there's conflict or violence in environments, I choose not to be associated or a part of them. Do you sort of get it? Like it limits the statistical likelihood that I'll ever experience it. So should I allow myself to let go to the need to protect and prepare and defend myself? Like statistically, I'm not walking in to getting punched in the face every day. If I'm always in situations or environments where there is high levels of conflict and violence, like why wouldn't you want to be switched on? Do you sort of get it? Like, why are you trying to live a peaceful life? If you're in conflict, if you're in war, embrace you're in war. Do you sort of get it? Don't seek peace in war. Do you know what I mean? Force peace to be a part of war. So, what that means is don't seek to negotiate with negative environments. Okay. Like, if you're going to be in a negative environment, like, go there with the intention that should a war break out, you're there to fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty basic stuff, but we understand this. My free will creates freedom within my life for me to not hold on to what I don't want in life, but I don't get to sit in those environments anymore. I leave those environments and I fucking let go because evidently it's not something that I want in life. Do you sort of get it? I stop creating illusions that I want to be around certain conflict and violent and dramatic, environments if I don't want that in my life, i.e., I like inner peace. I like serenity. So I don't fucking go to bars because bars make me want to put people's heads through walls as they do to most people. Do you know what I mean? Like, I find it very difficult to hang out in bars because as soon as cunts get alcohol, they think disrespect is the language of the town. And on a good day, it doesn't bother me. On a bad day, like, it makes me want to hurt people in the worst kinds of ways. Do you sort of get it? So I just don't ever go to them. I don't have a need for them. I'm not missing out on life. Do you sort of get it? Do you get what I'm explaining to you? That should I not want conflict in my life, I cease being a part of conflict in life. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean my life is void of conflict, but it means in conflict, I cease to end conflict. I don't cease to prolong conflict. So it doesn't really matter what happens. I'm always going to be in the position of moving towards peace, of, you know, sort of, so to speak, negotiated settlement. But what we got to understand is it's sort of like when we understand this, it just means that I'm not going to hold on a grudge and choose to prolong the fight. As soon as the adversary or, the other guy decides he's had enough. Or as soon as I've created like a way to either tactically retreat, i.e., I snap his leg and then I just start walking off. Do you know what I mean? Or I create like immobility within someone. Do you know what I mean? So, like, we're looking to disable the attack, or we're looking to disable the attack in a way that we can leave the attack. Do you know what I mean? Like, i.e., if someone calms down to where they're not being, you know, violent or hostile towards you, like you start walking away. If they come at you being more violent and hostile and looking to re-engage, then you alter your plan. If they don't, then you just keep walking away. Do you know what I mean? Because as distance goes, threat level lowers. So if I'm looking to live a life of peace, I'm always looking to limit that threat level within my life. Do you know what I mean? So should people be getting angry, I would be diffusing the situation. Should people decide they want to fight, I'm not going in and getting in the middle of it. Do you know what I mean? There's many people that say, I don't like to fight, and then they run into the middle of a fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, why? But it's very important to understand this because then we're free to embrace all of life. Do you know what I mean? Because what I don't want in life ceases to be in my life, i.e., I personally, do you know what I mean? I like inner peace. I don't like drama. So I don't really spend time with other people. Do you sort of get it? Like my life isn't any less because I don't have other people's bullshit around me. Do you sort of get it? Like my life is what I want it to be. Like I'm not trying to create the life others want. So if I personally don't really enjoy listen to people talk shit about this and that, like I just stop associating with them. Do you know what I mean? I minimize my time. I minimize my interactions. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't get to say I want inner peace and I want drama free and then I'm going out there and I'm in all of the dramatic and drama filled sort of, environments. Like that's counterintuitive. So we understand that there's a willingness and a trust to if I don't want to be in violent situations, I just don't be there. Do you know what I mean? If I don't want to be around fights, every time I get a feeling there's going to be a fight, I walk away because there's no, like, it's not my obligation. If people want to fight, they can fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to diffuse the environment. I leave the environment I don't want to be in because I don't dictate and control the environment. I dictate and control me in the environment. Do you know what I mean? So it's very important to understand this because, like, it's this understanding that should I want to follow my dreams and do a specific career, I just start doing it. It doesn't matter about the environment because I don't control the environment. I control me in the environment. Do you know what I mean? If there are things like if what I want in life conflicts with what I don't want in life, I take out the bits that I don't want. I.e., if I don't want drama in my life and where I work, the company I work at, there's really bad work culture, drama, talking, gossip, all of this. Well, then I let either the managers know or do you know what I mean? And I say to them, like, hey, I don't want to be a part of this, or I just find another job where the culture's better. Do you know what I mean? Like nothing negative has happened because I've identified that culture I don't like. Now I look for what culture I want. I'm not focused on what I don't want. I'm focused on what I want. Do you sort of get it? Like I'm not focused in on this used to be a good place to work and now it's a shit place to work. Like it's sort of like if it becomes a shit place, it becomes a shit place. Like, do I want to lower my life? Do I want to be around gossip and drama and all of this like 5 days a week? Is that going to make me happy in life or sad in life? Do you sort of get it? Like, if it makes me feel negative in life, I just don't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't put myself into the environment of it being negative, or I don't let it affect me. Do you know what I mean? Like I can approach it as it is something happening in my external environment, or I cannot even allow myself to notice it. Do you know what I mean? So like when people try to like talk down to me, like I don't even notice it. Do you know what I mean? If they try to talk down to me, Like, I'll just keep talking as if they said something relevant. Do you know what I mean? I don't acknowledge what they say. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if they want to talk down to me, if they don't, like, I don't have to fucking listen. Do you know what I mean? So I can treat it as the environment. No one can talk down to me. Or should you talk down to me, I hold the internal environment that I don't have to hear you. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, if someone tries to talk down to me, I just think, what a fucking idiot. That's it. I don't care what they said because everything they've said has just shown me that they're an irrelevant person to even talk to. So I think, what a fucking idiot. Why am I talking to you? Do you know what I mean? And then I just stop fucking talking to them. Like, it's pretty fucking easy. Do you know what I mean? It might be awkwardly silent, but I don't owe you anything. Do you sort of get it? Like, if people want to be wankers, like, we just treat them like they're a wanker. Like, you just look at them and go, like, I don't fucking know, man. So we understand I don't control the external environment, I control myself in all areas of life, in all aspects of life, whatever it is. Should I want to become healthier? I don't control the environment, but I control myself. If I take the actions that I believe will make me feel and make me happier and healthier, like, I will become it. Do you know what I mean? So we understand that through embodying my belief or what I want in life, I have it, I achieve it, I attain it. And then the physical manifestation of what I want in life is my expression of my manifestation, which is an energetic form. Do you sort of get it? Very important to understand all of this. If you can understand all of this and start layering it, it adds different dimensions to life. Just these few practices, well, they're not even practices, but these understandings, if I layer them in my life, I now move through life knowing that it is only me and my actions that I am accountable for or I have the control over. Should I want to diet and exercise? It's only my actions and my decisions that I'm in control of. So if I want to diet and exercise, wouldn't I just diet and exercise? Like, there's no external factors. I don't need energy to diet and exercise. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really. So we understand that. Do you know what I mean? And then we understand like there is flow and energy in life, and that comes from our energetic and our sort of physical connection to what we do. So the physical reality and the energetic reality. Do you know what I mean? The 3D and the 5D. So we understand if I think and feel that something in life is what I want to pursue in life, then I start pursuing it. And I focus on what I enjoy about it, not what I don't enjoy. I focus on it being an expression of me. I focus in on embodying it, not holding it. Do you sort of get it? I don't want to hold success in my hand. I want to embody success in every decision and action I take in life. Do you sort of get it? Very important to get this. Like, I don't just want success on a plaque on my wall that I can point to people and say, there's my validation. My validation in it is in my decisions and behaviors, my actions. Do you sort of get it? Like, that's the thing. Either my validation is in an external result or it is in the reflection of how I do it, how I achieve it, how I attain it, whatever it may be, how I embody it. Do you sort of get it? When we understand this connection, it becomes easy for me to invest 5, 10 years into becoming someone, into becoming something, whatever I want, into creating my dream life. I cease looking for the short-term gratification because the gratification isn't what I'm using to create my momentum. I am using the evolution and growth of myself. Do you sort of get it? Very important to understand this. When we understand this, we are truly able to create and manifest anything in life. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.